Namaskar and welcome to Startup Champions. I'm Shubhendu Ghosh. Increasing population with limited resources puts a lot of pressure on our urban infrastructure. With more and more people coming into towns and cities, the challenges are going to increase. Amenities like drinking water, sanitation, housing will need priority attention. Well, 21st century India is about smart cities and smart solutions. Today, startups are creating innovations that is boosting ease of living. They are revamping basic amenities in a manner that is people-friendly, cost-effective and sustainable. Let me introduce you to the startups who are joining us in the show. We have with us Anjay Mukherjee, founder, Taral Tech Solutions. Warm welcome. Let's keep the applause on for our startups. We have with us founder Aditya Tomar of Sukriti Social Foundation. Warm welcome to you, Aditya. And we have co-founder Rajesh Ji representing SNPC Machines from Sonipat. Warm welcome to you. Warm welcome to our audience members. We'll look forward to the questions that you have to put to our startups. And let's now talk about the mentors. Two special mentors are joining us in the program. Allow me to introduce you to them. There they are. On the mentor wall, first we have with us Dilnawaz Khan, angel investor, founder, Co-Design Labs and Pardec. Dilnawaz brings over a decade of experience across design technology, startup incubation industry. He is also a subject matter expert on pitch deck, startup fundraising and lean startups. Welcome Dilnawaz. Thanks very much for joining us. A round of applause if we can have for our mentors. And our second mentor here is Niveda, founder and CEO TrashCon, joining us from Bengaluru. TrashCon is a globally awarded technology-first organization helping governments, private organizations across the world to dispose of waste in a responsible manner. And let me inform you all, both of them have been jury members at the National Startup Awards as well. Warm welcome to both of you. And let's begin the show with a special report that talks about the key challenges faced by our urban spaces, urban sector, and the steps that are being taken to address them.
According to the latest report by the United Nations, half of the world's population today lives in urban areas. By 2050, half of India's population will be residing in metro cities and towns. At present, 31% of India's population lives in urban areas. Migration from villages to towns in search of livelihood has adversely impacted the basic infrastructure in urban spaces. Large-scale investment and smart solutions are the need of the hour for urban India. How to use technology to improve quality of life in cities. How to promote ease of living in urban areas. How to convert challenges of the 21st century into opportunities. These challenges and opportunities are not limited to big cities only, but impact tier 2 and 3 cities as well.
आत्मनिर्भर भारत के बड़े सेंटर आज देश के टियर 2, टियर 3 शहर बनाते जा रहे हैं। यही छोटे शहर आज आईटी बेस्ड टेक्नोलॉजीज की डिमांड और ग्रोथ के भी बड़े सेंटर बनते जा रहे हैं। देश के इन छोटे शहरों के युवा अद्भुत इनोवेटर्स के रूप में सामने आ रहे हैं। सरकार का फोकस भी इन छोटे शहरों में बेहतर इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर के निर्माण पर है, ताकि वहां रहने वाले देशवासियों के साथ साथ आप जैसे उद्यमियों को भी असुविधा ना हो। जितना अधिक आप इन छोटे शहरों कस्बों की ओर जाएंगे, उतना ही अधिक उनका विकास होगा।
Sustainable development of basic infrastructure is crucial. 16.29 lakh crore rupees are to be spent on urban development under National Infrastructure Pipeline. Finance Minister started Swachh Mission 2.0 in the Union Budget. Focus of the budget on clean air, drinking water and wastewater treatment in cities. Improving public transport network in cities is a top priority. 20,000 crore rupees have been allocated in the budget for public bus services. Bengaluru, Ahmedabad and Pune have topped the list of 111 cities in Ease of Living Index. Transforming cities into smart cities requires cutting-edge technology and innovative solutions. In this, startups have to play a key role. As innovations like smart water supply system, smart power system, smart transport, automated waste disposal and recycling are becoming a reality, startups are transforming the present and future of our urban spaces.
That's a glimpse of the steps that are being taken to deal with the challenges faced by the urban sector. Let's also get a perspective from our mentor. Nivedha, we just saw the story. Your organization is doing incredible work meeting the challenge of waste management. If we look at the urban sector as a whole, how do you see startups are all geared up to tackle this challenge?
I think 5 years ago this was not the case, but today almost every biggest problem that we are facing, starting from waste to water to every single thing, air quality, all those things that was mentioned before, there are at least a handful of startups doing incredible work, and that gives us a lot of hope. And all of them are made in India, completely made in India, cost-effective, patented technologies. So I think that's where it is. There is a lot of hope. I think startups are gone from just making money to also creating products that can create an impact, at the same time, in fact, have a profitable business.
Absolutely, startups are doing transformative work, and we'll meet some of them as we move ahead in the show. And that brings us to talk about the first startups who's joining us today. Taraltech Solutions. Now, we understand that access to drinking water is a major global problem. Some 800 million people across the world do not have access to clean water. Add to that the burden of waterborne diseases, and the situation obviously becomes even more challenging in the rural areas that are dependent on groundwater supply, which is often contaminated. Now, what Taraltech has done is fascinating. They've created a product, a reactor, that can be put inside of a hand pump, and what you get is clean drinking water from that hand pump. Let's take a look at their fascinating journey.
Underserved rural areas, which is about 650,000 villages, depend on groundwater for most of their needs. But imagine the damage if same water is contaminated and is used for drinking. Anjan Mukherjee, innovator and entrepreneur from Mumbai, thought of solving this drinking water problem. He developed Taraltech reactor, which kills microbes in borewell hand pump water, and it can be easily retrofitted into a hand pump, such as the India Mark II models.
There are 38 million cases of waterborne diseases in India, which results in 1.5 million kids below the age of 5 dying. These are staggering figures. And if you can really save that with a simple device, which costs in just thousands, and has a game-changing effect on the health of rural India, I think that's something which we should be adopting.
Anjan says Taraltech reactor is a fit and forget technology. There is no need for any maintenance or any consumables. It does not need any fuel or electricity or any behavioral change in its usage. But like all startups, he too faced challenges in making villagers believe that this product works.
When you show them this product and they think that it doesn't have anything, they're obviously skeptical about these things. But there are forward-looking visionaries every field, and they're there everywhere. They will never shy away from trying it out, because what is the cost to them? Actually, it is only on the positives. There is no negative to it, and that's how people started. And once they start and they see the results firsthand, then the word of mouth takes over. They give you testimonials, they talk about it.
Many villages in states including Madhya Pradesh, Bihar, Rajasthan, Maharashtra and Orissa have fitted the reactor in their hand pumps and are using it. Millions of people have already been touched as their healths have improved. Taraltech has not just been recognized by villagers but also at many national and international levels. Taraltech Solutions was one of the startups that participated in the joint Indo-Israeli Innovation Exhibition at Tel Aviv, Israel in July 2017. Anjan explained the working of the reactor to Prime Ministers of India and Israel, Narendra Modi and Benjamin Netanyahu.
Now we thought that we should be slowly getting ready for our next product, which would be for the pipeline version as well as for the submersible pumps and things like that. So we thought we should brand it in such a way that we can we can differentiate the products. So we've named the product for the borewell hand pump as Taraltech Maji. We found out that Maji in Swahili and Afrikaans actually means water. And we were so thrilled that, that we can name our reactor Theraltech Maji. So we quickly went and tried to trademark it, and we've not got it yet. But up till now, at least there have been no objections, and we hope to get it.
Theraltech Solutions is a significant breakthrough in the eradication and elimination of waterborne diseases and a game-changer technology for the future.
Worldwide, water is a stressed asset, but waterborne diseases plays a significant role of all illnesses globally. Theraltech Solution plays an important role in making a quantum difference by drastically improving the quality of groundwater that is consumed by removing the microbes.
Truly a transformative story of Theraltech Solutions. A round of applause if we can have for Anjan Mukherjee, founder, is with us. Anjan, really good to learn about the product. This reactor, it's quite magical, doesn't require any energy. You fit it and forget about it. Tell us a little about it. And you're carrying it for us here. Can we take a look?
Yeah, so this is how it looks. So all you need to do is, firstly let me correct you,
sure.
It requires hand power. Without energy you cannot get anything.
Right, but not the conventional.
Not the conventional, no electricity, no any of the other things. So all we have to do is open 7 bolts from the top of the borewell hand pump and just slide it into the riser pipe.
Yes, please go on.
Slide it into the on top of the riser pipe through which the water comes. So when the water is coming out of the riser pipe with your normal hand power, it we make inside our reactor, we shoot millions of jets of water, which by a simple physics principle called Bernoulli's, it creates voids. It's actually called cavitation bubbles, and once the pressure recovers, it collapses and lacerates the microorganism. So that's what we have done, and that's what our invention is. What is actually, I would say, fell into my lap is no one had tried it with hand power yet, and we are the first in the world to really do it with the hand power for something which is of scale as what we have really achieved.
It's very compact and light, Anjanji. I'll get back to you. So, how long did it take you to make this product, this reactor, from the scratch to this form?
Actually, all these type of, I would say, inventions or innovations or whatever you call it, all these things happen in a flash. It really, it does not take much time. What takes time is to really make it compact, really make it into a usable, manufacturable thing. Those things really take some time, but I've been very lucky. I've always worked with my hands, and so engineering of these things came very naturally to me, and I understood the science of it. So like in any technology or this thing, the challenge is really not taking science to the technology to that much, because that is dependent on you.
Okay.
The challenge is technology to the product and product to the business.
Okay, right. Let's connect with our mentor and get a perspective. Let's connect with Niveda and get a perspective on Theraltech Solutions. So Niveda, there is a close connection between waste management and clean water as well. In that context, how do you see the journey and the impact of Theraltech Solutions and the product that they've made?
So I think it is the need of the hour for Indian scenario at least, because what we have seen is in most of the most remotest villages and towns, there is no availability of free energy as we see. And the issue Theraltech is trying to solve is something that is going to the roots of our society, which includes that if it is not there, people may even fall sick. There are a lot of villages that have fallen sick because of contaminated water. And Theraltech has already shown it at scale, is what we saw during the entire review presentation. But if it can reach to nook and corner of India, I think clean water will definitely be a reality. So yes, definitely a huge thing. And I think the design parameters, the design criteria that they have taken to make it compact, to make it light, to make it low energy, I think these are the things that has to go in any innovation. Like he rightly said, coming up with the innovation is not a difficult thing. Coming up with an idea is not a difficult thing, but implementing it is the most difficult thing. Yeah, so kudos to Theraltech on that. That is what we all were feeling as well. Yeah.
Right. Niveda, stay with us. So Anjan, implementation is the key challenge. In that context, help us understand the business model that your startup follows. What is the means of for you to earn revenue through this product? We saw the use can be across the country, every nook and corner. So tell us about that, the business model and revenue.
Yeah, up till now what we have done is initially it was the high net worth individuals who actually sponsored us, and they said just go and fit it wherever you want to fit it, and that's how we started, and the word of mouth started happening. Then the corporate CSRs came in, and they started buying it and fitting it in various villages, where again the word of mouth started playing a role. The foundations have this thing, and because of all this the government got into the act, and though they have not taken it directly, but they have started studying the impact on the ground and what exactly is happening, and I'm very confident that in the next month or two governments will start taking, because all the results which has happened, all the testimonials which we have got, and all the lab results which are there, field results which are there, they are all extremely positive. They are showing direct impact on the health of the people in various villages, where previously the waterborne diseases were rampant. That's almost come down to nil. So they are giving us testimonials. So things are happening at its own pace, and I'm sure if something works, it works.
Right, and on that business model aspect, let's get a perspective from our mentor as well. If we can have Dilnawaz on the mentor wall. Dilnawaz, it's a truly disruptive technology presented by Theraltech Solutions. What is your perspective, your advice on how the business could grow bigger, more investment could come in? How should they go about it?
Right. So there are a couple of points I want to quickly pick up here. So for example, number one, of course, the problem they're trying to solve is a very important problem and Indian problem per se, right? Other than the generic tech startups who are trying to solve a non-Indianized problem, this is a problem on ground. Now, when you solve a problem specific to a country and you're solving a hardware problem, or you're building a product more like a hardware which is solving a problem, the thing is there's no recurring revenue. So I think my only advice can be, or I think what the founders need to think about, that how can they build a recurring revenue model around it so that they can scale it up. Because when you start selling hardware, there's a limitation up till which you can sell hardware, and there's a linear curve. And I'm sure because I don't know the nitty-gritties of the business there, but I'm sure they would be refilling, or they'll be changing the product after a certain point in terms of lifetime of the product. So I'm sure there'll be a couple of things which will enable them to build a recurring model around the product. But if they can, maybe integrate an app or some sort of another recurring thing, make it a little more techy, I think that will help them in creating a scalable business model.
Well, they say water is life. Let's also see the transformative impact of Theraltech Solutions in the lives of villagers who've benefited from this technology. Let's take a look.
Village in Junnar, where we had fitted it. Initially we had fitted 2, and then of course the village themselves asked that we should fit. They had some 7 or 8 more. They asked us to fit it in the other 7 or 8 hand pumps. So when we went back, the people who had fitted it, the 2 hand pumps where it had gotten fitted, they came to us very angry, and we were like, what happened? And they said that, earlier we used to wait half an hour. If you go, what they do, they get those big steel handas and they make a queue till their turn comes. So they said we used to wait half an hour. But after you guys went off, the entire village figured that this water is better by experience, not because somebody is telling them or advertising or anything. Very soon they experienced that the water quality is better, so everybody started coming and queuing up, and instead of half an hour, it started taking 2 or 3 hours before their turn came. So they got angry with us. So we were actually very relieved to hear that without explaining it, people came to know the benefit of this water.
easy to use the technology, I think, was one of the key highlights of your product. Anjan, at this point, let's also get some questions from the audience members.
My name is Ankita, and my question to you all is, when we are juggling on with the issue of poverty and education in our country, how are you going to create awareness amongst all the villagers for the implementation of the same?
Water is very basic. Without water you cannot live, and it is more than creating awareness. It is the moment they see it and they start experiencing safe, clean water for drinking. It's a life-changing thing. Even before education or anything, you have to live. So it is happening by word of mouth. It's happening, and the government, like I said, is coming in a big way. So it will happen. I mean, it's like air, it's like water. I mean, if you say, you can do away with clean air, I mean, that's not on. I mean,
absolutely.
The same way.
For the basic necessity, Anjan, what are your plans to diversify it? I mean, we're looking at the model which works with hand pumps, but we all need clean drinking water, and we know it's an established industry. There are expensive products in the market. Yours seem very compact. So, how can you possibly diversify into other areas to make clean water accessible to everyone?
In fact, I will take this opportunity to counter what our mentor told me about. What he's saying is, I need to put an app into the product or whatever. My counter to that is, this is meant for absolutely the underprivileged in underserved areas where they can really afford none of it. There is no electricity, there is no nothing. So they and there is no behavioral change in this which is required. So this is my first product, which is for the underprivileged and like I said, in remote areas, and I intend to keep it like this, keep it very basic, so that they at least get safe water. My next product will be for the pipeline version, for the people who are they can afford it. So in those things I will, whatever he has said, I will actually incorporate. This is more, you can say, for brand building, that this is something which is very, very close to my heart, and that's why I've chosen this as the first product, where it can really have an impact on the people who really need it. The other pipe water people already have solutions. I may be far cheaper or whatever, but they cannot get into the space I am already in this and built my brand.
Whereas I can. It's admirable, Anjan, the spirit, the vision with which you present your product. Time to move forward. Let's come to our second startup, Sukriti. Now, public sanitation, we know, is a crucial aspect of urban infrastructure. They say it's easy to build a toilet, but difficult to maintain it. Now, think of a smart toilet that can clean itself. Add to that, there is an on-site waste management setup as well. And it also saves thousands of liters of precious fresh water alongside. Let's look at the way in which Sukriti is transforming public sanitation.
In the time and age of finding smart solutions to basic problems, PM Modi's focus has often been on better use of technology to meet the requirements of everyday issues. Meet EcoMitra, a revolutionary concept that not only aids in maintaining sanitation and cleanliness but also employs cutting-edge technology. Gurugram-based startup Sukriti, staying true to its name and addressing the need of a common man, designed smart toilets that depends very little on manual intervention for maintenance.
We have been granted 4 copyrights on our softwares, and we have applied for 3 patents. One is on our black water treatment system, another is what we call as sensorless detection system, and the third is to detect whether toilet is choked or not.
EcoMitra solves major challenges of public sanitation facilities with features of automatic cabin hygiene maintenance system, black water treatment system, centralized toilet health monitoring system, user entry management system, innovative superstructure, eco-friendly and automatic water tank filling.
This is the influent water quality sample, and this is the effluent that we got after the treatment system. This is water is used for flushing purpose, the water which does not come in skin touch, and there are 7 parameters for which water is categorized, water is tested and decided further whether it should be used or discharged safely or not.
EcoMitra is indeed friend of nature. It has the potential to save up to 75 lakh litres of fresh water every year. Its automated algorithms coupled with solar systems can save up to 40,000 units of electricity per annum.
So everyone is facing the problem of water crisis these days, and there are only two ways to make clean water available. One is to conserve it and the other one is to reuse it. The latter is where the startup steps in.
India is building millions of toilets, but the biggest challenge one faces is the waste management system across large parts of the country. Sukriti has a solution to this problem too.
Whatever effluent we get, we ensure that it is safe to discharge and safe to reuse. And this water is reused and recycled in our unit for flushing purposes. And extra amount, whatever we are getting from the treatment system, we will discharge into the landscape.
Passed out from IIT Roorkee, three co-founders Aditya Tomar, Anuj Yadav and Aniruddha Yadav started Sukriti in 2016, and in 5 years' time, the growth of the startup has been remarkable.
So we have always had fair and hazy picture that we want to do something. There was something very much clear that we want to do something that impacts people.
Sukriti has started taking small steps in a journey that is sure to take it to a million places. It has installed 30 smart toilets in Gurugram, Faridabad, Jaipur, Noida, Hapur, Panipat, Karnal and Yamunanagar, and plans to install 30 more in the next few months. Sukriti will certainly add impetus to make India a much cleaner and healthier society. That's why they say it's not a startup, it's a mission.
Wow, shall we put our hands together for Sukriti? Fascinating to see the future of public sanitation. And Aditya, co-founder, is with us. Aditya, how did IIT engineers turn towards public sanitation? Tell us about the genesis of this idea.
I think the question that you asked is something that I have answered like 1,000 times in the past 5 years, starting from my family, my relatives, my friends. So everyone says IIT, and then why are you making your hands dirty by handling the waste? But the only answer that I always give is, to clean the nation, someone has to make the hands dirty. So the challenges that we had to clean, and we had to make it a business. So these are the two things, as also Mr. Anjan also said, making a product or making a technology is not a big thing, but science to technology to product to business is something that we need to work on. So back in, I think when we were graduating back in 2013, so we had this thing that we had to do something for the society, and then water crisis is a perennial problem. It's there, it was there, it will be there, and water problem is not just a single problem, it has its own domino effects. So it leads to a lot of waterborne diseases. We are discussing that thing quite a lot today. So what Taraltech is doing is they are treating the waste that is coming out. So but what we are trying to do is we are trying to stop the dirty water going into water table. So conventional toilets, they generally come with a leach pit or soft pit kind of solutions. So the waste that is generated, that is straight away getting percolated, that is polluting water table, and eventually that is pumped out and used by the communities. And there are lots of numbers and statistics to look into. The situation is very grim beyond that.
Tell us, Aditya, also about the sort of ecosystem of waste management that you have created. It's not just a smart public toilet. We just saw there's also renewable energy. You're also taking care of not wasting water. So tell us about, how did the idea come in that everything in that ecosystem has to be recyclable, including the energy?
So if you go to the name Sukriti, sustainable creations, and if you focus on the logo, sustainable creations for you. So something that we wanted to do, everything has to be sustainable in itself. The energy needs has to be fulfilled right then and there. The water requirements have to be fulfilled there. And on top of it, the solution has to be automatically maintaining itself. It should be a closed loop system. The entire set of information should be flowing right from the user to the authority that are managing, and it will be conversely flowing from there to the toilet facility itself.
Great. Let's get a perspective from our mentor as well, if we can have Niveda on the mentor wall. Niveda, Aditya made a beautiful point about one needs to get the hands dirty to get the nation clean. Now, there is an important change in perception related to public sanitation that is taking place in the recent years. How do you see it, and how do you see Aditya's startup, Sukriti, taking that vision forward?
I think I totally agree with what Aditya mentioned, and that is something that I have been also doing. Many innovations are there at a lab scale or at an experimental stage, but you don't see it coming out and working. And when people ask why it is not coming out, the only reason that I give is they're not coming out and actually getting their hands dirty. Because only when you get your hands dirty can you find the right solution to the problem that is existing. I think that's where Aditya and his team sort of made it happen. Public sanitation, in fact, even the other day I was in Andhra Pradesh, fecal sludge treatment, the entire sewage treatment has been something that is now in the it is the highest priority. We are also working in waste, but of course in the solid part. But liquid waste is something that very few people are solving. And solving it in the right way, like Aditya rightly mentioned, you need to create an ecosystem. You can't have only one product solving one part of the solution. You need all the solutions coming together to solve the problem. I think that comes over time. I'm sure, Aditya, you have also realized it over the past 5 years. But for all the startups watching also, when you're creating a solution, don't create just a part of it. See whether you can create an entire ecosystem so that it is self-sustaining. So yeah, definitely, it has a huge scope. And I think with the recent budget being allocated, I think, yes, everybody can see it for themselves. Yeah.
Great. And we're talking about smart toilets. Let's also hear from the users what they feel about it. Let's get some bites from the users who've used these toilets.
Actually, the experience of using the toilet is quite unique. I have never used a toilet before which have such automation, such cleanliness, and the user experience and the user feedback system. So this is, I think, one of the most special toilet I have used in the area across the city. The smartness and the user feedback system and all the things together are very different. Female generally don't use the public toilet system due to the unhygienic of the public toilets. But if you see the hygiene of this toilet, it has best hygiene of public toilet I have seen in any public toilet.
Fantastic. So the users are also very happy. A round of applause really for the vision and the product that Aditya's team has created. Let's get some questions from the audience members as well. We can come to you, ma'am.
My name is Priyanshi, and I want to ask you, sir, from where you get the inspirations to start something like that? Is there any motivation from where you can start this thing, or you are inspired by someone?
So I think it again it dates back to 2015 or something. So it was before Swachh Bharat Abhiyan happened actually. So one of my co-founder Anirudh, so he was in Switzerland doing an internship with WHO. So sometimes it so happens that we see lot of things, lot of bad things happening around us, but we see it just to unsee it. We were seeing the impact of poor sanitation, poor water problems all around us, but things weren't really clicking in our mind. So it was then that he went into WHO, he saw those grim numbers and things started taking shape. We want to do something in social sector, but what? We got an answer of what there. And then coincidentally around that time only Swachh Bharat Abhiyan happened. So business supported by government money, government initiatives, it just needed to, we just needed to put our efforts to make it happen.
Absolutely, and a fantastic startup like that, Aditya, also requires support and grants. We learnt about your association with Indian Oil Corporation. Let's listen into the ex-director from the institution.
We have been directly involved with the team of Sukriti since 2017 for the development of their product. We have sanctioned approximately 2.74 crores so far to them under our startup scheme for development of proof of concept. Over the past 2 years, we have closely worked upon our collaboration to overcome challenges at every stage of the product development and expansion cycle. We have seen them grow from a small 10-member group to a 45+ member group today. Currently, we are conducting a comprehensive field trial at our retail outlets across North India. So far, these smart toilets have had a very positive impact on our customers as well as our approach towards a sustainable growth. We wish them a very bright and successful future.
Aditya, also in brief, if you could tell us about the kind of business model that your startup follows and how do you earn the revenue through your smart toilets?
So for us, the unit economics and the business is pretty simple. So we try to keep it simple. We generally operate it in what we call as in a government lingo DBTOM model. So design, build, operate, maintain and transfer. So we design it, we execute it, and then we operate it for next 10 years, 15 years as the case may be. We earn from, we have a recurring revenue coming from there, and then eventually at the end of the life or at the behalf of authorities, we transfer it to them for any further utility. So it's the revenue model is pretty simple as of now.
Right, and on that, let's also get an opinion from our mentor. Dilnawaz is connected to us. Let's have him on the video wall. Dilnawaz, really, look at the story of Sukriti. It's a social cause turned into a business idea and an enterprise. We need such smart toilets everywhere. What is the manner in which they could possibly expand the reach and also generate more revenue out of it? How do you see their future strategies in the area?
I think what they are already doing is pretty phenomenal, because they all so just to add, they already have some sort of a thought in mind to build a recurring revenue, and the kind of model they've currently created, build something for which maybe the government can fund them a bit, or some corporate can fund them under the CSR. Then the toilet at some point in time should be able to break even itself from the usage, and if the maintenance and other costs are also covered into that operating cost. I think if they break even the toilet at once, I think that's a fantastic model. Another thing, because they are already having corporate linkages, I've seen a lot of social impact startups picking up advertising and other sort of a cross promotional material for usage on their product. So and corporates, any which way they have a CSR budget, they want to align a lot of things to the social impact and social causes. So I think that can be another revenue stream for these guys. So what they're doing is pretty phenomenal. Advertising, building on top of services can be another way they can make more money.
Great.
But yeah, I like the way that they're building, they're looking at the recurring revenue part. Yeah.
Absolutely, and I'm sure Sukriti can make use of that advice. Thanks very much. Dilnawaz, time to meet our third startup. Now, did you know that India is one of the largest producer of bricks in the world? Now, bricks, as layperson we understand, is a building block of urban infrastructure, but the traditional methods of making bricks is slow, and there are a number of issues associated with it. What our startup has done is that they've created a machine that makes bricks, and they've made the process more efficient and also environment friendly. And today they are in fact one of the fastest growing global companies working in the area. Let's take a look at their inspiring journey.
On the Delhi-Haryana border in Firozpur, Bangar, this factory is producing automated machines that dish out compressed bricks in one go. This innovation belongs to Satish, a school dropout. Due to family compulsions, Satish used to work in brick kilns. As the saying goes, practice makes a man perfect. Satish soon realized that the whole process of brick making was quite costly and exhaustive as well. It was then that the idea of brick making on wheels was born.
हमें सुनने में आया था 1600 ईस्वी में टर्की में ईंट का आविष्कार हुआ था। तब से लेकर आज तक ये खाली मैनुअल चलता रहा है। आने वाली पीढ़ी पिछली पीढ़ी को देखकर जाने वाली को इसी तरह मैनुअल करती आई है। तो वहां से हमने एक मन बनाया, सभी हमारे मित्र थे, भाई थे, पूरा परिवार साथ था और हमने ये काम शुरू किया। इसमें हमने 2007 से 2014 तक एक्सपेरिमेंट करते रहे, फेल होते रहे। फेल होने का मतलब है हमें कुछ सीखने को मिला और उसके बाद 2014 में हमें इस पे कामयाबी पाई है।
And now with a roadmap of 2 years, SNPC not only has a patented technology but also a Startup Champion Award under its belt.
This video is from Samarkand in Uzbekistan, and you can see the Make in India emblem, the lion, and the SNPC machine laying bricks in a foreign country. The company plans to expand especially in Central Asia and Africa, mainly because it has a lot of demand, and moreover India is making a mark in that region.
the market of these countries are very big, and there is no automation in this industry so far in these countries, and this machine can produce a good brick quality within short time of period. So this machine is high in demand in these countries. They are keen to buy. After seeing the video from the social media, they are also visiting us in India.
From Pakistan to Uzbekistan and now Sudan in the African continent, SNPC is on a mission mode, Make in India for the world. With the help of local ITIs, the company is also providing employment to the local youth.
Challenges which comes like to hire unorganized and unskilled people, unskilled human resource, to hire them, to get them trained, to get them qualified to run the machine and to deploy across the India to every machine so that machine can produce brick according to the customers.
Available in 5 different models, machines of SNPC are producing up to 12,000 bricks in an hour in 6 different countries.
They're great work done by SNPC machines. And Rajesh, one of the co-founders, is with us. Rajesh जी, कमाल की मशीन बनाई है आप लोगों ने. थोड़ा बताएं कैसे इस मशीन को बनाना हुआ, क्योंकि जैसे सतीश जी बता रहे थे कि आप लोग कोशिश करते रहे, कई बार गलतियां भी हुई, नहीं बना मशीन. ऐसा नहीं मन किया कि छोड़ दें, कुछ और करें काम?
No sir, if you want need, then the idea comes. And that's why Satish ji, the idea comes up to 2000 we have a own brick kiln. In Hindi we can say bhatha. And we face many problems from the laborers and the quality of bricks, and we lost many money. We are not from the rich family, so we sit all the brothers and talking about. Then Satish ji said, I will make a machine with produce, moving machine, in the world's first machine.
Right.
And it will take some time, to up to 7 to 8 years. Our trucks were sell due to not money in hand. Goes to kabadis for the raw material, for the gearbox, and we crush 5 machines. The machines got success up to 60%, 70%, 80%. We don't launch the machine because 80% is not suitable for.
And Rajesh ji, how did you make this machine? How long did it take to make this automated brick making machines from scratch?
It take approximately 8 years.
8 years?
Hard working, 8 years.
Right, and your team also worked in a traditional, जैसे आपने बताया, traditional brick kiln also, and now you are revolutionizing the manner in which bricks are made. How has the experience changed? आपका अनुभव किस तरीके से बदला? एक आप ट्रेडिशनल भट्टी में भी काम कर चुके हैं आप, अब आपने पूरा सिस्टम ऑटोमेटेड कर दिया है, तो कैसा अनुभव बदला उसका?
Everyone need some changes everyone need. If we talk about the bricks of these machines and the other machines, manual machines, the strength, the impact value is very good, and it is very, the cost is also low from the machines with manual. In manual we face many problems. The small children are always working in the field. The old persons are always working in the field.
Right.
And the up to 100 to 150 families are working in the field. The small children don't go to school and do the work manually. That's why we thought that they also goes to the school, the quality became higher.
Right. Also, Rajesh, it's really inspiring to know that you're one of the fastest growing companies in the area, not just in India, but across the world. What was your experience of taking SNPC machines out of India as well?
So we have sell our machines for 7 to 8 countries, and we have joint venture to make the bricks for 2 countries also. And right now we are seeing for the South Africa side. We can go to the Africa side.
Right. At that point, let's also get a perspective from our mentor, Dilnawaz, if you can connect with him on the mentor wall. Dilnawaz, really inspiring effort there by SNPC Machines. And they're also an example of make in India and make for the world, the manner in which they're taking the technology abroad. On that front, what are the key challenges that they must keep in mind, especially when a startup that's done well in India goes abroad testing new waters?
Right. So I think first of all, see, and this is like a general advice I would want to give to maybe these three gentlemen who have done phenomenal job. They're already startup champions, so I'm sure they have been recognized at the national level, so they don't need any second validation. And of course, to all the other aspiring entrepreneurs getting inspired by their journey, I think when it comes to hardware and building something like a product, the biggest challenge is the IP issues that a lot of startups faces, right? Because when you are building, and of course, even in technology or software that can be done. I come from a hardcore software technology IT background, but even in hardware, when you involve software and you're building a hardware, the reverse engineering and the protection of IP is very, very important, because in most of these cases, if we think from the end customer's point of view, the market is price sensitive. We love our product that we build. We are in love with the company we are building. We are in the adrenaline rush of what we are doing as an entrepreneur, but the market do not understand that. The market is price sensitive. So keeping the right price up and making sure the IP is protected are the two things that every entrepreneur needs to take care of, because now when they're going to expand at some point in time, there will be competitors who will be looking at them. They have already cracked the model. They know they've successfully established a startup in that sector. The competition will be watching them, will be coming after them. Maybe a new entry, a new guy, maybe a bigger corporate, but they need to make sure the IP and the copyright and all those related things are on their side.
Right, important piece of advice there that I'm sure SNPC Machines and all startups can learn from. Rajesh, you've worked so hard in making this startup. The role of the family must be very important. Let's listen into what some of the family members of the founders had to say.
मेहनती हैं ये, विल पावर भी अच्छी है, कामयाब होंगे, लेकिन इतना नहीं पता इतने जल्दी इतने आगे पहुंच जाएंगे, नाम कमाएं, परिवार को भी ऊंचा उठाएं, मतलब हमारी भी इस उम्र में हार्दिक इच्छा है कि परिवार का नाम ऊपर बढ़ाएंगे।
मेरे पति बहुत मेहनत करते हैं और मेरा पूरा सहयोग है और इनकी मशीनें मुझे समझ आती हैं, मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगता है और हम सब इनके साथ हैं। They are working very hard. I supported them fully and I am very proud of them.
Very significant, the support of the family for any startup. Let me again turn to our audience members, get some questions for SNPC. Yes.
Namaskar, I am Santosh Kumar Singh. First of all, hats off for your discovery. The problem of urban poverty and housing for low income households are interlinked to the problem of urban development. I think there should be an integrated planning framework that focuses on building infrastructure for all and providing same standard services to all. So my question is that such framework is required or not?
Yeah, let's get a perspective from Rajesh. राजेश जी, सवाल थोड़ा ऐसा है कि हम लोग बात कर रहे हैं कि जब हम घर बनाने की बात करते हैं, हाउसिंग फॉर ऑल, सबके लिए घर बने, गरीबों के लिए घर बने, तो जो रॉ इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर चाहिए होता है वो आप प्रोवाइड कर रहे हैं, आप ईंटें प्रोवाइड कर रहे हैं, कितना ज़रूरी होगा और किस तरीके से जो आप काम कर रहे हैं, ऑटोमेट कर रहे हैं, ऑटोमेटिक बना रहे हैं ब्रिक्स को, वो जो गरीबों के लिए घर बन पाए, सस्ते दाम पे ईंट मिल पाए, वो चीज़ संभव हो पाए आपके स्टार्टअप से, उस पर आप क्या कहेंगे? कितना आपका जो स्टार्टअप है वो मदद कर सकता है ऐसे जो हम घर बना रहे हैं काफी मात्रा में गरीबों के लिए, वो रियलाइज करने के लिए?
सर वेरी हेल्पफुल सर। ऑटोमेटिक ब्रिक्स की कीमत तो हमने कम करी दी जी। अगर मशीन ने कोई ब्रिक बनाई है तो वो उस पर 100 रुपये का खर्चा आ रहा है तो मशीन उसको 50 रुपये में बना रही है, बाकी प्रोसेस वही सेम है। तो ब्रिक्स की कीमत तो ऑटोमेटिक कम हो ही गई, प्लस आपको स्ट्रेंथ और काफ़ी चीज़ें वो मिल गई उसमें। तो फिर जैसा जो कस्टमर चाहता है, जैसे मोदी जी का वही सपना सबका घर हो अपना, तो उसके लिए थोड़ी कीमत कम करनी पड़ेगी और वो ऑटोमेटिक हो गई है वो कम।
I am Mr. Arora and heartily congratulations on your startup. Basically, I have a question. How do you guys have funding on this innovation and invention of yours? Like, do you guys have funding from government, or do you guys how do you get the funds from for your startup?
थोड़ा सा फंडिंग के बारे में बताएं।
When we start this making machine, we don't have the fund. At this stage, the government is very helping for us. The startup is very helping for us. This is the government helps, very helping.
That's amazing. And as we move towards the close of this edition of Startup Champions, let's quickly get some words of wisdom from all our startup founders. I'll begin with you, Anjan sir. One thought, one vision, one idea that kept you going all these years while you were working on this product. What is that spirit that kept it all alive?
It can really do. That is something which is really kept us going, because as you know, the problem is humongous. In India alone is 30 to 40 crore people, that is 300 to 400 million people. Worldwide, I believe it is 2 to 3 billion which don't have access to safe water, which we can with our innovation we can really do something about.
Right. Aditya?
I think two things, the staggering numbers that are bound to have a lasting impact inside you, and obviously the support from the government and for entire ecosystem that is being built to create a solution like this. These are the couple of things that kept us going. Also, there's one thing that I would like to add here is, when we solve a problem that is linked to the grassroots level, you just don't solve one problem, you solve many problems attached to it. You just, like his brick making machine, he told that's not just making bricks. As he told, it's also solving your the child labor problem.
Yes.
In hindsight, it is also helping people, the children going to school, or water problems. They are not just creating getting a good quality water.
So the entire ecosystem improves because of one good innovation. Rajesh, what would you like to say? So much hard work gone into the startup. What kept it alive? What kept you going? क्या आपको इंस्पायर करते रहे कि आप मेहनत करते रहे अपने स्टार्टअप पे?
My brother Satish says that 1,000 miles journey start with one step. This line is very inspiring for me, and I also tell the students, if you study, only study, and don't do the practical, then you are learning only 10%. I think. This is my opinion.
Absolutely. Most precious words of wisdom. Thank you very much for that. Let's put our hands together for our brilliant startups. And let's also see the kind of impact that Startup Champions is having. Let's take a look.
Hello everyone, my name is Rahul Tyagi. I am the co-founder of Safe Security. Post the show, we have received very good interest in our platform. I thank Doordarshan for featuring us and other startups. This will definitely give us wider reach in the country and help us to reach out to more masses and help them be more secure.
And as we come to the close of this edition of Startup Champions, let me thank all the participating members. Let me thank Dilnawaz. Also thank you, Niveda, for joining us in the program today. All your piece of advice are well taken and valuable for all the startups watching the program. Thanks very much. And also a big thank you to the startups who joined us in the program today. A round of applause if we can have for them. Your journey will continue to inspire us, and that brings us to the close of this edition of Startup Champions. But this journey, as I always say, will continue. You can connect with us. Tell us about how you're liking the program. If you want to write to any of the startups, you can send us an email on startup.india@gov.in. As I say, this journey of inspiration, this journey of motivation, this journey of startups will continue till we meet again. Namaskar.